morning, everybody. Today we're going to be focusing on solving one-step word problems, focusing on multiplication. I hope you did well when it came to your finding unknowns. Today it's kind of like we're finding unknowns, but we have to figure out what number we're trying to solve for. Let's start with an example. Alessandro finds different types of rocks outside. He sorts the rocks into 6 groups. If each group has 7 rocks, how many rocks did he find? Based off of my story, I'm just going to underline some important information. I know he sorts the rocks into 6 groups. So I know I have 6 big groups. Each group has 7 rocks. So every time I make a group, I have to put 7 rocks in it. The big question here is how many rocks did he find? So I should be able to figure out the number of rocks he found once I've drawn a model. I'm going to start with my 6 groups. 2, 3, and 3 more to make 6. Each of these groups has to have 7 rocks. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, and 7. Now, I could have also drawn my 7 as dots or tally marks. I chose to draw the number as is because I'm going to use a special strategy here. I don't 100% know 7 sixes off the top of my head, but 1, 3, 4, 5. I do know 5 sevens. 5 sevens is 35. That means I just have to add one more group of 7 to my 35. So 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. That means I have 42 total rocks in my model. I'm going to represent my equation as 7 groups. Oops, actually, I'm not. Based off of the story, I'm actually going to write my equation as 6 groups of 7. I know that this equals 42. That means Alessandro found 42 rocks. Let's try another example. 4 friends have a Zoom meeting planned for 3 days this week. If they spend 12 minutes talking to each other each day, how many minutes will they spend on Zoom? Let's go in and underline that important information again. Alrighty. I know that 4 friends have a Zoom meeting planned for 3 days this week. I need to figure out which of those numbers I'm really going to be focusing on, my 4 friends or my 3 days this week. They spend 12 minutes talking to each other each day. Each day is referring to these 3 days. So I haven't found out if I need to do anything with my 4 friends yet. My question is how many minutes did they spend or will they spend on Zoom? So my question is talking about minutes and it's talking about that time they're spending on Zoom. So I know I need to focus on my 3 days this week and the 12 minutes each day they spent talking to each other, not the 4 friends, not the fact that there are 4 friends. Always be very careful when you're reading these word problems to figure out exactly which information you need. Now that I know I'm working with 3 days this week and each day had 12 minutes, I can draw a model of that. So this would be day 1, day 2, day 3. They spent 12 minutes each day, so I'm going to write 12 in each group. Once again, I could have drawn dots, but I also know that multiplication is the same as repeated addition. I know 2 groups of 12 will be 24. So I just have to do 24 plus another 12 in order to figure out 3 groups of 12. Well, 24 plus 12 is going to be 6 ones, 3 tens, 36. That means 3 groups of 12 is 36. Now I'm going to write that as an equation. My 3 days are my groups. My 12 are the number of minutes in each group. 3 times 12 equals 36. That means they will spend 36 minutes on Zoom this week. All right, let's try one last problem. In April, Miss Belote read 30 minutes a day. If she read 4 times a week, how many minutes did she read in a week? Now, this question has started off a little bit differently. Let's underline some of that important information. For one, I know I read 30 minutes a day, and I chose to read 4 times a week. But my question is asking me how many minutes did she read in a week? That means I need to have 4 groups to represent my 4 times. One time I read, the second time I read, the third time I read, the fourth time I read this week. And I need to put 30 in each group because that's the number I read each day. That's the number of minutes I read each day. 30, 30, 30, and 30. So I might not know this right off the top of my head. I'm going to use, luckily, adding 30s together is kind of easy because I have the 0 in the ones place. So I know 30 plus 30 will give me 60. 30 plus 30 will give me 60. You know I love adding my doubles. 60 plus 60 is going to be 0 in the ones place. 6 tens plus 6 tens is 12 tens. There's no hundreds for it to go to, so the 100 stays where it is. 120 minutes. My equation looks like this. 4 groups of 30 equals 120. Oh. Equals 120. That means, let's write it where we can see it. Oh, that's all right. Just so we can see it. Boom. That means I read for 120 minutes this week. The word problems you're going to see are going to focus mostly on multiplication. If you have scratch paper around, take the time to draw the model. My challenge to you, as we did in class, write all the equations that you can think of related to this problem and circle the best equation. You'll notice that I only wrote what I thought was the best equation in this case, because I don't really have as much room. Good luck on your word problems. I look forward to looking over them, and I'll see you again.